TVs in which I am appearing and speaking are slowly becoming deities. They are receiving worship. Flowers are offered to it. Aarti is done to it. Incense is given to it. Now, all our temples are planning to have a separate throne for this TV. In Los Angeles, already I am on the throne. The TV is in the throne. The TV, in which people are seeing me, have already become deity. Same way, please understand, the stones through which people were able to connect with the superconsciousness have become deities. Same way, all our temples, deities, everything is a connecting mechanism with superconsciousness. The mechanism which connects with the superconsciousness. Please understand, the deities and temples are not just sentimental carved stones, or they are not just artistic sculptures, they are conscious transmitters. They raise you to the superconsciousness. In each house in Vedic tradition, we have a puja room. All the puja rooms are your private conscious airport, are conscious transmission centers. The main temple is the place from where continuous superconsciousness is radiating. So if you just sit and connect with a deep feeling connection, see, in those days human beings were so simple, just remembering the name of the deity in connection with the deity, that feeling connection. When I read Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, it says, sit in Siddhasana and be in Samadhi. That's all. See, the human beings were so simple in those days. Just if you sit in Siddhasana, you are already in Samadhi. If you sit, your mind sits. Now, if you sit, your mind shits. Mind is completely away from the body. In those days, human beings are so simple and intelligent. All the non-mechanical parts of their brain were awakened. It is Western killed the non-mechanical parts of the brain, the functions of the non-mechanical parts of the brain. Please understand, in the Vedic civilization, always human beings were brought up in such a way that non-mechanical parts of the brain was fully alive and awakened. It is a cultural and invite the greatest possibility of the human being when the non-mechanical parts of the brain is not functioning anymore. The temples, deities, all these are looking useless. Otherwise, they are a huge conscious infrastructure. Please understand. So, an example, suddenly, if we find some method to travel just 20 feet above the air or 30 feet above the air without petrol or diesel, all our automobiles, roads, everything will become useless. Then you will wonder, why so many automobile industries are established? Why so many cars are produced? Why this huge road waste? I think our ancestors are fools. You don't understand. At one period, it was used. It was being useful. Our temples, our deities, all these are useful if all your non-mechanical parts of the brain is awakened. Unclutching is the process to awaken your non-mechanical parts of the brain. When your non-mechanical parts of the brain is awakened, you will understand temples, deities, how useful they are, how directly useful they are, how they are part of our life, how they enrich our life, and how they make human beings intelligent, enlightened. These are the methods created to create enlightened civilization. These grand temples are not built as an just monument. They are built as a conscious movement. It is not like Egyptian pyramids, monuments. No. It is conscious movement to raise human beings to the highest consciousness, to make human beings experience the highest purpose. Understand, unclutch, use the temples to achieve the highest consciousness.
जीवन मुक्ति
On various occasions, Devi Parashakti revealed to the world in her Akashic readings that the various steps and the importance of going to Adi Kailas to protect from this pandemic. On 18th June 2021, Devi revealed that for saving your life, go to Adi Kailasa. Best life is there. Before Corona takes your life away, go to Adi Kailasa and save your life. On 5th July 2021, Devi revealed that the soil of Adi Kailasa is Sarva Roga Nivarini. That means the cure for all diseases. For all the diseases in the world, Paramashakti, myself taking the form of Nithyananda as Nija Avatara, walking there barefoot for many years, manifesting all powers, put it into great medicine that solves all karmas. So when the first world countries closed their borders during a massive global emergency, Kailasa has opened its doors to all without exception. Various COVID care centers opened across India are Adi Kailas in Bidadi, Bangalore, Salem, Tirunamalai, Pattanam Adinam, Srirangapadi Adinam, Madurai, Avatipalam, Hosur, all from Tamil Nadu, and Sripuram Adinam from Hyderabad, and Baroda Adinam from Gujarat, Puduvai Adinam from Pondicherry. Kailasa rushes to aid India as India finds itself on the verge of COVID-19 third wave. Multiple free COVID care centers open across India. Various social services offered during the pandemic in the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies across India, and also various spiritual services offered during these pandemic in the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies across India, cosmic revelations on the global pandemic, free social services offered during the pandemic in de facto spiritual embassies across India are medical care, which are include allopathy, Ayurvedic, Siddha medicine, infrastructure to accommodate thousands, accommodation for multi-layer quarantine, emergency ambulances, ICU on wheels, personal protective medical equipment, food security management through food banks, organic farming. So join the Kailasa's COVID care production centers and register now through the link below with https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. The sovereign order of Kailasa worldwide, inspired and guided by the vision of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to save lives, a one-of-a-kind humanitarian charitable service massively mobilized to provide protection and prevention COVID care in this testing time of global meltdown. Through this initiative, Kailasa has been consistently supporting people through the free food bank, that is Annadan, free medical care, and many more services. The impact of mental disorders and during a humanitarian crisis are often difficult to assess and inflict lasting damage. To assuage this, Kailasa is offering spiritual programs, temple events, and spiritual healings online. Kailasa's recommendations on COVID-19 and multilateralism to be presented at the United Nations General Assembly and Human Rights Council. So, Kailasa's report and recommendations on an international treaty on COVID got accepted and published by the United Nations. Surviving the highly contagious COVID-19, where the world is only as resilient as the least resilient country, and persons require true multilateralism, governments, organizations, and people to collectively address the crisis. Kailasa has been successfully providing grassroots solid solutions to multifarious ways, including providing sustainable community livings with multi-layered quarantine, educating citizens on individual pandemic management and economic systems based on charity, barter, and money, providing food security and traditional Hindu medicines. These unique contributions have been recognized by the United Nations and published in their website www.oschr.org. You can also find this article on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's Facebook profile page. You can download this article and read the full article by yourself. Now join the Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Centers and register now through the link below, especially if you are in India. https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. Now we have the live Sundareshwara Sayidya Samadhi Bhava Samadhi Darshan upcoming at 10 standard time. Let's get prepared for that. We are going to move on to the next part of our segment after a very short break. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda, and welcome back to this segment where we'll be learning about Ilayanar Sundareshwara Paramashivara Parampuru Sayidya Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, and prepare for the darshan, the Sayidya Samadhi Darshan. So what is the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayidya Samadhi Darshan? is where you manifest the superconscious experience of Shiva Sayujya Samadhi through the darshan of Irayanar Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva. So get ready for the rare and unique, powerful initiation into God equation to make human beings into. And let us now watch this video where Bhagavan Sundareshwara himself has revealed about the Sundareshwara Sayujya Samadhi Darshan.
Shave, shave. Paramashiva, I will manifest the physics of my existence. Cognize this in your Hridaya Akasha, in the Gandha. You will experience my existence. Sundareshwara Paramashiva. The countless, uncountable, by any visualized, assumed mathematics, Brahmandas manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get deluded inside me, gets liberated inside me. For all the countless Brahmandas to exist, to get created, to get sustained, to get rejuvenated, to get deluded, to get liberated. I am the space.
Bhagavan Sundareshwara beautifully revealed, I will manifest the physics of my existence. You will experience my existence. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, the countless, uncountable by any visualized, assumed mathematics, Brahmandas manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get diluted inside me, gets liberated inside me, for all the countless Brahmandas exist to get created, to get sustained, to get I am the space. Let's also now look at the United Nations, a new scientific report from the Interchange Yes, we apologize for the technical glitch. So let us now look at the condition, the situation of our world today. According to the United Nations, a new scientific report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, warns that we are on a crash course towards catastrophe if global temperatures are allowed to rise. The window to slow or even halt some of these worsening impacts is rapidly closing, and the message is clear. We must take action now. So here you can see the chart of the climate risks at a global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius versus a global warming of 2 degrees Celsius, where the extreme weather with 1.5 degree Celsius increase, there's a 100% increase in flood risk, and with just 2% Celsius, 2 degrees Celsius increase in the weather could lead to 170% increase in the flood risk across the globe. And with the species with 1.5 degrees Celsius increase, 6% of insects, 8% of plants, 4% of vertebrates would be affected, and with 2 degrees Celsius increase, 18% of insects, 16% of plants, and 8% of vertebrates will be affected. So you can see with every aspect of life on planet Earth, the water availability, the Arctic sea ice melting, and the population of the people with 1.5 degrees Celsius would be exposed to extreme heat waves once in 20 years. And with 2 degrees Celsius increase, 28% of the world's population would be exposed to extreme heat every once in 20 years. The sea levels are expected to rise. 46 million to 49 million people could be impacted by the sea level rise by the year 2100. And the oceans, the coral reefs could get virtually extinct at 2 degrees Celsius increase in global warming. And with every half degree of global warming would consistently lead to lower yields and lower nutritional content in tropical regions in the food. So we have catastrophic effects of the global warming, and this research shows these risks. So let us now look at a video by the United Nations, which describes the state of our world today.
In 2019, fire was spreading throughout our planet, quite literally, in places like Australia and the Amazon basin, where forest blazes supercharged by climate change wreaked havoc. In other places, mass protests flared up, fueled by a combination of job insecurity, growing inequalities, and discontent with the current economic, social, and environmental status quo. The economy has slowed down globally, stifled by trade tensions and political uncertainty. The little growth we have had has failed to reach those who need it the most. Progress towards higher living standards has stalled for many countries and vulnerable groups of people. This has only deepened inequalities which were already growing in many countries, spurred on by automation, climate change, and other global trends.
So according to the World Health Organization, the total cases globally for COVID-19 is over 221 million to date. And Healthline.com states that new COVID cases have risen to more than 150,000 per day in the United States. And experts have warned that with emerging variants, it could lead to another surge in cases. So you can see the impact of COVID-19 on the world health and world economy. And it is During this time of crisis on planet Earth, that Bhagwan Sundareshwara has come down to earth with such extreme compassion for humanity. He states, "O bound souls, listen intensely. Your impossibility and irresponsibility made you surrender yourself to the delusion. Cognize the ultimate truth. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. The moment you remember me, call me, I'm here for you." Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva is the greatest and unique manifestation of Paramashiva as a complete manifestation. He assumes physical, subtle, light bodies as and when he wants, plays with all the physical reality and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in this physical plane as he likes without even a reason, just for fun. And sometimes they manifest as Meenakshi and Sundareshwara as two bodies, one being, and sometimes as both in one body. That's the reason all his manifestation and plays are called Thiruvilayadu or Leela. And due to his causeless, limitless compassion, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru is manifesting in all his glory as Purna Avatara through this being Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam as Nityavatar. From the Shuddhadvaita Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi space, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru will be manifesting. Through the supreme manifestation, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru will give darshan, bless and shower boons as Leela. Sundareshwara Paramashiva has himself as the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam as Swamiji, just to continue his legacy and Leela. To continue being available to all of us, playing his divine Leela, performing miracles in the lives of his devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole of Madurai, Shamla Pita, Sarvanya Pita, as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, guiding the whole of humanity. And when you witness the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, your neurons mirror that of the avatar. The mirror neurons activate and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing. That is, our entire body silently and without movement recreates what is happening distances far away, experiencing the superconscious energy radiated by the avatar. And as an effect of the mirroring neurons, all the powerful cognitions and powers of Bhagavan Sundareshwara are mirrored in you. So what is the God equation Bhagavan Sundareshwara reveals? He says, exhale intensely whatever you have, Paramashiva will inhale in you, is the God equation. Nothing is more powerful than power manifestation science. It is the most exciting spiritual science. And when you decide to manifest powers again and again and again, you know Paramashiva is within you and he is manifesting. You fall in love with Paramashiva every minute. If he manifests, you know he is real and he is manifesting. Even if you don't manifest what you declared, you will manifest the jnana and vijnana, the knowledge and understanding. Possibilities and powers of Paramashiva will manifest in all of you now. So let us now understand who is the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, who is giving us this beautiful science, powerful science of power manifestation and guiding all of humanity to a superconscious state. The Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism The 293rd Jagadguru Mahasamidhanam of Kailasonata Shamala Pita Sarvagnipeetam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam is the reviver of Kailasa, a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities a lifestyle for humanity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasamidhanam, the Pontiff of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvagnipeetam, the Tandai Mandaladinam. He is the incumbent emperor of Surya Vamsha Surangi Samrajyam. He is the present 293rd Jagadguru Mahasamidhanam, the Pontiff of Kailasonata Shamala Pita Sarvagnipeetam, and he is the present Mahamandaleshwar, the supreme spiritual head of Mahanirvani Akada, the largest apex monastic order. So here you can see some of the pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasamidhanam, the Pontiff of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvagnipeetam, the Tandai Mandaladinam. And here, as the incumbent emperor of the Surya Vamsha Suranga Samrajyam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is offering the sacred rituals and the consecration of the deities, is performing the sacred rituals and the consecration of the deities at the Adika Yajna. And here you can see the pictures of the coronation and the celebrations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the incumbent emperor of the Surya Vamsha Suranga Samrajyam. And here we have a few more pictures of the present 293rd Jagadguru Mahasamidhanam of Kailasonata Shamala Pita Sarvagnipeetam. The Supreme Pontiff is being coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasamidhanam of Madurai, the oldest Hindu papal state and monastic kingdom at the age of 34 in the year 2012, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism assuming the responsibilities as the 293rd Guru Mahasamidhanam of Madurai in the year 2012. And here we have some pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the present Mahamandaleshwar of the Mahanirvani Akada, the largest apex monastic order, being honored by the various Mahamandaleshwars and the leaders of the Akadas present at the Kumbh Mela. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, the head of all spiritual leaders of Atal Akada, the ancient ethics body of Hinduism. He is the present 23rd Guru Mahasamidhanam of the Dharmamukti Swargapuram Adinam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders and pontiffs. And here we have a few more pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with leaders of the Akhada and with his Nithyananda Gurukul Balasans and Sannyasis. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is revered as the teacher of Hinduism, the most prolific, most viewed, read and watched. He has authored over 300 books and 10,000 articles in 3 languages, English, Tamil and Sanskrit, translated into 50 languages with over 1,000 titles. Over 20 million copies of the books and articles have been sold, read and downloaded. Over 10,000 hours of discourses have been uploaded into the YouTube channels, is enriched and enriched over 1 billion lives digitally, is respected as the commentator of all the sacred scriptures such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Brahma Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, Jain Sutras, and many more. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been honored as the leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized Hindu leader, is the reviver of the 108 ancient Hindu Sampradayas, including the Rudrakanyas, the Rudras, the Rishis, Rishikas, Bhairavas, Bhairavis, Sannyasis, is the establisher of the largest Hindu university, the HDH Nithyananda Hindu University in the world, with satellite campuses in over 150 countries. He is the establisher of 1,000 plus Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems. He is the founder and reviver of 100 Sarvagna Pitas. He is a collector of the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million palm-leaf scriptures, and over 20 million digital books. And here you can see the various spiritual de facto embassies of Kailasa established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. He has established over 22 Hindu universities, 186 extended campuses of Nithyananda Hindu University, 242 Nithyananda Gurukuls, 22 Nithyananda Jnanalayas, 38 temple monastic complexes, 2,175 Paramashivoham shakas, 1,898 youth centers, 19 kingdoms of Sarvagna Pitas, 25 e-Kailasas, 1,898 ASP centers, 120 temples, 5,334 healing centers, 22 food banks, 12 animal shelters, 34 satsang temples, 418 Paduka Mandirs, 2,175 satsang centers. The various spiritual de facto embassies of Kailasa established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism over these just a few years of this public life. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's peace walks, the Padayatras, cover over 100,000 kilometers and have gifted the science of spiritual healing to over 2 million human settlement thus far. So you can see here a pictorial depiction of the various Padayatras undertaken by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Padayatra in 2000, which covered over 15,000 kilometers. The World Tour Yatra after the year 2000, which covered 4,000 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra, which covered more than 5,660 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra in 2005, which covered over 7,000 kilometers. The Korikandra Yatra, which covered 960 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra, again, which covered 6,000 kilometers. The Cambodia Yatra, which covered more than 1,000 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra, which covered more than 6,000 kilometers. The Korikandra Yatra, again, which covered 960 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra, which covered more than 5,608 kilometers. The Himalaya Yatra in 2010, which covered over 4,580 kilometers. The Tiruvannamalai Yatra, which covered more than 300 kilometers. The Kailash Yatra, which covered more than 600 kilometers. The India Tour Yatra, which covered more than 5,000 kilometers. The Bali Yatra in 2014, which covered more than 1,000 kilometers. And the Vijaya Yatra, which covered over 300 kilometers. So all of these various Padayatras over these last couple of decades, the peace walks of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which have covered over 100,000 kilometers and gifted the science of spiritual healing to more than 2 million human settlement so far. And let us now understand who is Bhagavan Sundareshwara. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has shared, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru is the manifestation of the beauty of cosmos in flesh and bones. Irayanar Sundareshwara is the embodiment of super consciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru, as the complete manifestation of Paramashiva, assumes physical, subtle, light bodies as and when he wants as his divine manifestation. He plays with all the physical reality and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in this physical plane as he likes without even a reason. Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru is the greatest, unique and complete manifestation of Paramashiva. Sundareshwara is the embodiment of super consciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. He came down as the most handsome form to marry Devi Meenakshi and administer the city of Madurai. The kingdom of Madurai, known as the Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam, the oldest Hindu papal state and enlightenment ecosystem, was established by Paramashiva. The kingdom of Madurai was later revived by Lord Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi, who as the deities and incarnates of Paramashiva ruled over Madurai, revived the foundation pillars of it as the highest living stream of spiritual sciences. And to ensure that this tradition continues to elevate humanity, they enthroned Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi, who was enthroned to continue the lineage of the Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam. And here we can see a few more pictures of the lineage of masters, the Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam. And this verse describes the lineage of the Guru Parampara. It says, Guru Paramparayatam Adrishtam Sarvavadibihi Bhavabhanda Vimokshatham Paramam Sarvatomukham. And it describes the supreme discipline of Adishaiva tradition has been coming down through the continuous lineage of the Guru disciple Adishaiva Guru Parampara from time immemorial. This has been formulated for the attainment of complete liberation from the repeated phenomenon of birth and death. This is supreme in its kind and concerned with the ultimate benefit of this is supreme in its kind and is concerned with the ultimate benefit of all the souls. And here you can see the pictures of the Guru Mahasannidhanams of the Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam. You will see the 288th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam. Srila Shri Arumuga Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. The 289th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam. Rao Bahadur Shri Swaminatha Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. The 299th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam. Srila Shri Swaminatha Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. And the 291st Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam. Srila Shri Somasundara Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. And as the lineage of living masters continues, the Kailaswanatha Shamala Pita Sarvagyapitam's rare and sacred lineage of pontiffs has been systematically carried over in an unbroken progression from the ages. The chosen emissaries of Lord Paramashiva and Devi Meenakshi, the Guru Mahasannidhanams, the pontiffs of Kailasvanatha Shamalapita Sarvapita, are the direct representatives of the cosmos. And here we see the pictures of the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasvanatha Shamalapita Sarvapita, Srila Shri Arunagirinatha Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal, and now the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasvanatha Shamalapita Sarvapita, Bhagavan Srila Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal. On the 27th April 2012, Srila Shri Nithyananda Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal was formally appointed as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasvanatha Shamalapita Sarvapita, and is the lawful successor, descendant and inheritor invested with all the powers, duties, obligations to perform the rituals, spiritual, religious and customary rites vested in the Kailasvanatha Shamalapita Sarvapita, has been reviving its spiritual, religious and linguistic epicenters to its original glory. And now, let us watch a video which describes the history of Kailasvanatha Shamalapita Sarvapita, Madurai Adinam, which is the world's oldest Hindu establishment.
The ancient temple town of Madurai in India boasts of a 2,500-year-old history of spirituality. Historians trace Madurai's existence back to the 3rd century BC, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities of the world. Madurai was established by the cosmic mother herself as Princess Meenakshi, daughter of the pious king Pandyan. An able queen and a fearless warrior, Meenakshi expanded her empire right up to Kailash in current China. But when she came face to face with the Lord of Kailash, Shiva himself, she recognized him as her eternal consort and dropped her arms to become Shiva's companion for life.
Along with Shiva, also known as Sundareshwara or the beautiful Lord, Meenakshi reigned over her kingdom for a glorious 166 years.
In course of time, with the rise of Jainism as a religious force, Madurai too fell to its powerful influence, and Shaivism all but vanished from the sacred kingdom where Shiva himself had once walked the earth. The renaissance of Shaivism in Madurai was the sacred task of a child incarnation, Tirunjana Sambandar, one of the 4 visionary saints of Shaiva Siddhanta tradition. The story goes that as a baby, Tirunjana Sambandar was once nourished by the milk of enlightenment from the cosmic mother herself. This child prodigy arrived in Madurai to effortlessly defeat the learned Jain monks with his wisdom, healing powers, and spiritual prowess, and restored Madurai to her beloved religion, Shaivism, by reviving the ancient Madurai Adinam and the Meenakshi temple, which had fallen to desolate ruin. Madurai Adinam is today the world's oldest living Hindu organization, with a recorded history alone spanning a glorious 1,500 years and an unbroken lineage of illustrious pontiffs to this very day. Over the centuries, Madurai Adinam has been patronized by the likes of Tipu Sultan, Robert Nobili, and the poet saint Vallalar. The pontiff of the Madurai Adinam is known by the title Guru Mahasannidhanam and inherits the responsibility of carrying forward the traditions of Tirunjana Sambandar's sacred work.
On 27th April 2012, a new era began in the history of Madurai Adinam. The 292nd Pontiff, Srila Sri Arunagiri Nithyananda Sambandha Desika Paramacharya Swamigal, guided by intuition and inducement by Lord Shiva, coronated a charismatic young saint as the 293rd Pontiff of the Madurai Adinam.
An accomplished yogi, a pragmatic social visionary, and an adept in mystical sciences. His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda is revered as a divine incarnation by millions worldwide. Within weeks of his ascent to the sacred throne, he brought about sweeping changes to the Adinam, including the renovation of the ancient monastery, Annadan, free food for thousands every day, free medical camps, yoga classes, scriptural study, spiritual healing, and meditation programs. The traditional Adinam now has a website, and thousands participate in the morning worship and spiritual talks via live streaming and two-way video conferencing. Vast properties belonging to the Adinam are being reclaimed from illegal encroachment. Its numerous temples are being restored to sanctity, and the neighboring villages are being adopted with basic amenities, education and medical care being provided for all. His Holiness dreams of an authentic Vedic renaissance for which India has already waited too long.
Here, I take the commitment of making Madurai Adinam as an international religious organization. We will fulfill all the responsibilities of Madurai Adinam, make Hindu tradition, Saiva tradition alive, revived, lived, celebrated all over the world.
With a brand new pontiff at its helm, Madurai Adinam promises to be more than just another traditional monastery. As a whole generation turns to spirituality for answers, the changes at Madurai Adinam mirror the changing role of spiritual organizations today as power centers and guiding forces, forging the enlightened government of the new world.
And today, for all of humanity, out of the billions of people on planet Earth, we are the most blessed people. For us, Sundareshwara is not a history, it's a happening. Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, as Swamiji, the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, to revive Hinduism. And to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine Leela, performing miracles in the lives of his devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuing the legacy as a ruler of the whole of Madurai. Shamalapita Sarvangapitam, as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, guiding the whole of humanity. And in the Shiva Leelarnama, it is described that Paramashiva assumed the physical body 11 times in Madurai just to perform his divine Leelas, and each action the divine energy performs becomes an independent entity. If you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. Understand, Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. So let us now watch the Leela of the healing of the Pandyan king's people. Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva's Leela of healing the Pandyan king's fever. It is also known as the Pandyanika Jwaram Keertani Padalam. And here you can see a pictorial depiction of the various Leelas of Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva. In the Tiruvilayadal Puranam, it is a collection of 64 16th century Shaivite devotional epic stories by Paranjoti Munivar, and here it is described they describe the actions of Bhagavan Paramashiva on earth in a number of disguises to test his devotees. So each of Sundareshwara's dimensions are recorded as his one Leela in this collection, Tiruvilayadal Puranam. In the Vedic tradition, we have 64 different arts, and each leader, a complete being, has to master the 64 arts. In that, even horse riding is one, and astrology, horse riding, the mastery in medicine, mastery in surgery, mastery in painting, mastery of dance. Each Leela of Sundareshwara proves his mastery on each art. And there was never ever such an amazing imagination or visualization of the ultimate without reducing its Ananta Kalyana Gunas into the human level. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism discourses on the Shiva. So you can watch this video on the YouTube where Bhagavan Sundareshwara's Leelas in Madurai. So you can watch this video on YouTube. And let us understand further who are the Nayanmars or the Nayanars. The Nayanars or Nayanmars were a group of 63 saints living in Tamil Nadu during the 3rd to the 8th centuries CE who were devoted to Paramashiva. The list of the Nayanmars was initially compiled by Sundarar or Sundaramurti Nayanar, and in his poem Tiruttondathugai he sings in 11 verses the names of the Nayanar saints up to Karaikkallammayar and refers to himself as the servant of servants. The list goes into the detail of the lives of the saints, which were described in detail in the works such as Thevaram. And in the Shiva Leelarnama describes that Paramashiva assumed the physical body 11 times in Madurai just to perform his divine Leelas. Each action the divine energy performs becomes an independent entity. And if you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. Understand, Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. The best way to connect with Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva is through Leela Dhyana. Today, let us meditate on the 62nd Leela from the Shiva Leelarnama, the Pandyanika Jwaram Tirtha Padalam, the Leela of healing the Pandya king's fever. And these verses which narrate this Leela, it describes in the clan of the Arimarthana Pandya king, a king who was known for his magnanimity and who stood tall due to his widespread fame, was born a king with prince with a hunchback, and hence the people called him Poon Pandyam, the Pandya king with a hunchback. Though the king Poon Pandyan took birth in the Pandya clan, which had deep devotion for Paramashiva, due to the ill effect of his long association with Samanar, the people who misunderstood ideas of Jainism to spread violence, he had not only fallen in their trap but had received the initiation too. What to do? It is difficult to revert from the association with wicked people. And in a clan consisting of great devotees of Paramashiva, which was quite sincere and integrated in observing the truths revealed in the Vedas and performing the duties prescribed in the Vedas without any hindrance, a boy named Jnana Sambandar was born. Goddess Parvati herself protected this child by feeding her breast milk to the child who was once struggling without his biological mother. After this incident, people began addressing the child as Jnana Sambandhan or Jnana Puranan, as the child got enlightened in childhood itself by the grace of Goddess Parvati. The child, who was the pride of the Brahmin community, was the incarnation of Lord Muruga. During childhood itself, he learnt all the scriptures, and keeping the Upanishads, the Hindu scriptures which reveal the underlying truths, as the testimony, he clearly explained the supremacy of Bhagavan Paramashiva. Jnana Sambandar, being the embodiment of the tattvas like sacred ash, Rudraksha, and the Shadakshara mantra, the Sharavana Bhava of Bhagavan Muruga, was considered as an enlightened being, and some people worshipped him as a result of the good deeds in the past and over the evil attacks of the Kali Yuga. While the King Poon Pandya's clan was surrounded by the harmful darkness of ignorance due to the preaching of the Samanar Acharyas, the queen and the minister he devoted to Paramashiva, who adorned his matted locks with the crescent moon. Once King Poon Pandyan was attacked by extremely high fever and was struggling. All the efforts taken by the Samanar Acharyas of the king to heal the king were unsuccessful. And at that time, for the sake of the king's health, very much pleaded with Jnana Sambandar, the enlightened master. The enlightened master Jnana Sambandar, while entering the king's palace, remembered the form of Lord Shiva, who always remained using the nectar from the crescent moon adorning his crown, and meditated upon the sacred truth, Shivoham, and looked at the king who was affected. He showered his grace on the king through his eyes. Saint Jnana Sambandar, who was established in the state of enlightenment, which is beyond all rules and regulations of the ashrama dharma, the duties of the 4 stages of life as per the Sanatana Dharma, smeared the sacred good deeds performed by the king in his previous births. He also applied the sacred ash on the chest of the king with his right hand, which had worshipped the divine feet of Bhagavan Paramashiva. While applying the sacred ash, Jnana Sambandar also sang the divine and healing verse Thiruneetrapadikam. On receiving the sacred touch of the divine hands of Gnana Sambandha, which is described in the Rudram, the Vedic chant of Lord Shiva, as the most auspicious, the most holy, and the healing medicine of the three worlds. The king got rid of the high fever instantly. And as the heat existing in the stomach was spreading all over the body, the king was suffering. When the king got rid of that suffering, he became very happy. The queen too became happy about the complete healing of the king. She rejoiced that not only the physical heat of the king got healed, but the religious heat of the summoner, the people who had used misunderstood ideas of Jainism to spread violence, was also put off in the king's life. The physical heat which got removed from the king's body by the graceful eyes of Jnana Sambandha got doubly evolved in the hearts of the Jain monks. And 80,000 Jain monks were living in the 8 mountains all over the earth. They were adept in many various forms of pranayama, and when they got defeated by Gnana Sambandha while during the physical illness of the king, the wanton devotee of Lord Shiva, they decided to win over him by debating with him. Hence, all of them gathered in Madurai. Gnana Sambandha was an expert in various fields like Mimamsha, Tarka, and was well versed in the philosophies of Upanishads. The moment Jain monks approached him to start their debate, they got stuck mentally and became speechless. Vedic religion is proved categorically right by the justifications of the philosophies like Mimamsa Shastra and is well established by the inquiries of the Tarka Shastra. Leaving aside all the valuable justifications, the Jain monks wanted to win over Jnana Sambandha just by their mere faith. So let us now understand further the Leela of healing the Pandyan king's fever, Pandyanakku Juram Padana. So, Poon means bent back in Tamil, and Poon Pandyan, a great king who had conquered the Cheran and Cholan, married Mangayar Karasi, the daughter of the Cholan. The Pandya king was deeply involved in Jain religion and spoke low of Shaiva traditions. Mangayar Karasi, a great lady, a woman, stage was a Shaivite, and during this period, people belonging to the Jain sect Samanamatam in Tamil entered into Madurai and settled down there. King Nedumaran got attracted towards Jain sect. He announced an order that all his citizens should follow the Jain sect. Gave a shock to his wife and the minister Pulachirayar. They did not have the courage to talk to him on this matter with the great king. People were afraid to come to Meenakshi Amman temple. The queen Mangayar Karasi then decided to pray to Lord Bhagavan Sundareshwara and talk to him on this worst state of affairs. She took the minister Pulachirayar along with her to the temple and prayed to Bhagavan Sundareshwara. At that time, a Brahmin came inside the shrine, and the Brahmin saluted the queen and said, "O queen, I am residing in the Chola country. I am on my visit to various divine places. I came here thinking of worshipping Bhagwan Sundareshwara of Madurai. I inquired with the people here as to why there's no one in this temple. I became sad on hearing that the citizens are following the Jain sect, and hence no one is visiting this temple." The queen immediately wrote a letter and said, "O Brahmin, somehow or the other, please hand this letter over to Jnana Sambandar. Ask him to visit Madurai." The Brahmin, who came to know that Jnana Sambandar was staying at Vedaranyam, Tirumaraikadu, went there. And immediately after reading the manuscript, Jnana Sambandar decided to visit Madurai. Now Karasar said to him, "Oh Lord, you may not be knowing the Jains. I, the one who was affected by them, know about Jainism. Further, the planetary positions are not conducive for journey. Please start on an auspicious day." And Jnanasambandar replied to him, "O Lord, we are the slaves of Paramashiva. When Paramashiva is there behind us, what can these planets do?" He immediately sang the song, "Veyuru Tolipangan, Vidamunda Kandan, Nalla Veenai Thiravi." Even today, those who feel affected by the adverse positions of planets in their birth chart sing this song, and without bothering about planets and the planetary positions, Jnana Sambandar immediately left for Madurai. Mangair Karasi felt very happy on the arrival of Jnana Sambandar. The Jains got angry and decided to burn the house to kill Jnana Sambandar. Jnana Sambandar got infuriated and he immediately sang a collection of songs, the Padikam, beginning with the lines, "Cheyana Thiru Alavai Meviya." Sambandar then went to see the Pandya king. On hearing this, the Jains told the king, "O king, the Sambandar will not be able to cure this disease. We will cure it now in just 5 minutes." The king shouted, "O Jains, just remain aloof. Let Sambandar alone give me the treatment." Sambandar then said, "I do not want any other thing. Just bring some ash from the kitchen of the temple." And the ash was brought. Sambandar made the king understand that your conscience does not need to shrink. Because of this idea that everything is going to become ash, listen, but your consciousness is beyond anything you see. Initiating him into this tattva of life and giving the ash as a prasada, when the tattva started spreading and expanding in Kun Pandyan's consciousness, the shrinking body stood up, the hunchback was cured, and he expanded and became Nindusir Nedumaran Nayanar. And today, Bhagwan Sundareshwara himself has come down as the supreme pontiff of Hinduism. Jnana Sambandar, the embodiment of Meenakshi Sundareshwara, healed Moon Pandya. Today, for all of humanity, out of the billions of people on planet Earth, they are the most blessed people. For us, Sundareshwara is not a history, he is a happening. Sundareshwara Paramashiva has himself come down again in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Swamiji, just to continue his life, to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine leela, performing miracles in the lives of his devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole of Madurai, Shamalapita Sarvanapita. As the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, guiding the whole of humanity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, being revered as an incarnation of Paramashiva at a very young age, was birthed by the various enlightened beings, siddhas, yogis, dhamma yoginis, and many other adepts to revive these sciences, the initiations and knowledge repositories for billions to manifest superconsciousness. Vedanta, Tantra, Srividya, Yoga and yogic powers, Mantra Shastra, Siddha Vidya, the science of Aushadha, Advaita and Bhakti Yoga, Paramashivoham and Paramashivoham. The Nadi is an ancient science of Akashic readings in Hinduism. It was established by Paramashiva in the form of Lord Vaidishvara, Bhagwan Vaidishvara, who is the Lord of healing. And these texts are recorded and organized by Agastya Maharshi. It is an important aspect of recognizing the happening of superconscious mutants, incarnations in Hinduism on planet Earth. And this age-old science predicts about the advent of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And let us now look at some of the Nadi readings of Swamiji. And this Nadi reading foretold the advent of the avatar as foretold by Rishi Agastya in the Jivanadi. It says, Nithyananda Sangha, please carefully listen completely to the words, for Shiva has come in the form of Nithyananda. As the result of the penance of many crores of Siddhas, Paramashivan has incarnated as Paramahamsa. By his teaching, even many sinners became virtuous, many crores people became blissful. Just by thinking about him, they achieved bliss. The people who have experienced the truth of bliss followed him. So all the life in the world are his life. He considers all the people of the world as his people, his children. He lives as a Jagat Guru, as pure Shiva, Sadashiva, as the sun and the moon. And here you can see some of the pictures of the Yoga Pattabhishekam, the coronation of the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, the official celebration and public declaration of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva to the world, and celebrating the manifestation of Paramashiva on planet Earth through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In 1994, celebrating the manifestation of Paramashiva on planet Earth through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Mataji Vipudananda Puri began the preparations for coronating the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as her next successor and declaring him as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva. Through this occasion and official letter of initiation, adopted him as her only disciple and successor in the Arunachala lineage, coronating and conferring a title Brahma Sufi. His gurus thus coronated him when he was 16 years of age. Immediately after which the avatar commenced the expansion work of Kailasa. It is thus 27 years of public life till date year in 1994. The purpose of their life was complete. And so many adepts, yogis, siddhas, siddha purushas, enlightened beings have recognized and revered Swamiji as the avatar of Paramashiva. A few months into her pregnancy, Dhammayogini Mataji Vibudananda Puri gave specific instructions to Anasuya Ammal, her dear friend and mother of Sri Arunachalam, the paternal grandmother of the incarnation, who was yet to be born. Obeying her commands, Anasuya Ammal took her daughter-in-law, Ma Lokanayaki Swami Amma, to receive the blessings of Pundi Mahan, a great seer, revered as an incarnation of Paramashiva near Tiruvannamalai. As Ma Lokanayaki Swami Amma bowed down to Pundi Mahan, he showered her with flowers and akshata, which is turmeric rice, and declared to her heartily, Ammayappane Tiruppan, blessing her that Paramashiva himself will be born to her as the divine mother and father of the whole cosmos. So now, with that, let us now get ready for the live Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva. Yes. So now let us get ready for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva, the live Samadhi Darshan. So let us understand the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. And the Shastra Pramana for the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan comes from the Malini Vijayottara Tantra, the 60th verse. Let's chant the verse now. It says, Kathana Shakti Padatva Yadva Padavalokanat Prasadat Swaguro Samyak Prapyate Paramam Padam. The translation of this verse, it says, by the enlightening teachings of the Guru Kathana, by the Shakti Pada, the graceful transmission of the spiritual powers from the Guru, By looking at the sacred feet of the Guru, or by the complete loving favor of the Guru, the Prasada, the ultimate goal in space, the Paramam Padam, is attained. The Bhava Samadhi Darshan is not an event in space and time. Rather, the darshan happens at the moment when we are lifted out of space and time. And during Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our neurons mirror that of the avatar. Bhava is defined as directing and activating the emotional and spiritual energy that is created through meditation on the avatar. The brain neurons mirror, activate, and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing and without the physical act of imitation. That is, our entire body silently and without movement recreates what is happening distances far away, experiencing the superconscious energy radiated by the avatar. The science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan knows no distance of phenomenon. The modern science is just discovering and terms as quantum tunneling. And our thoughts per second reduces significantly and we relax into the space beyond thoughts or thoughtlessness, becoming mentally at ease in coexisting dimensions beyond duality, where we and the divine become one, unconditioned by the parameters of time and space. It is the probability of a quantum particle like an electron with less kinetic energy to cross over the potential energy of an energy barrier. An electron acts both as a wave and a particle. Imagine a scenario: what happens when an electron with less kinetic energy is approaching the hill? Will the electron be able to cross over the potential energy or the peak of the hill? As a particle, the electron will require higher kinetic energy to cross over the potential energy of the hill, or it will roll back. However, as a wave, the electron has the ability to pass through by propagating itself through the hill and go to the other side. That is the science behind quantum tunneling. The same science is imposed on people who witness the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. This is because our neurons are able to mirror the neurons of the divine immediately, and through quantum tunneling, we are able to travel through the divine energy and mirror the exact same neurons. So let us now understand the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. And Bhagavan Krishna describes Bhava Samadhi Darshan. He says, when Krishna once saw his own extraordinary sweetness reflected in a jeweled wall, he was amazed and he said, how unprecedented and astonishing is this deep and indescribable sweetness of mine. Alas, when I see it, even I become greedy to enjoy its sweetness. Just like Radhika, when I see my own sweetness in the mirror, I become eager to taste it, but I can't. And after due consideration, I find that the only way to relish this sweetness is through the constitution of Sri Radhika. And this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4. And the Bhava Samadhi Darshan is the science of the Nijavatara manifesting Paramashiva. The consciousness, formless, expresses the being of Paramashiva through Divya Sharira, the light body, and manifests as Nijavatara, the physical form, or the embodied form, for us to experience Paramashiva. And here you can see how Devi Parashakti expresses through the being of Rajarajeshwari and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form of Devi Meenakshi. Bhagavan Paramashiva expresses through the being of Subramanya and manifests as the Nijavatara in the physical form as Bhagavan Muruga. Bhagavan Paramashiva expresses the being of Arunagiri Yogeshwara and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And Bhagavan Parandama expresses the being of Mahavishnu and manifests as the Nija Avatara, the physical form as Bhagavan Venkateshwara. The Archavatara, the deity, reflects the consciousness, the manifestation in the being of the superconscious energy, but human beings are not mature enough to receive the higher level experiences from the Archavatara directly. The Avatara, the physical embodied form, comes down to bridge the gap and create the experience of this superconscious energy in all of us. When we have the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of the Nijavatara manifesting beings of various dimensions of Paramashiva, the auspicious components and the powerfulness of those dimensions of Paramashiva are awakened in us. The dimensions of Paramashiva manifesting in the Nijavatara for us to experience the same is Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Bhava Samadhi Darshan is the direct experience of causeless bliss. During Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our being comes alive and celebrates with the energy wave of existence. Our very muscles learn to imbibe and radiate Paramashiva. Bhava Samadhi Darshan is like a window to the infinite expanse of consciousness, allowing us to glimpse the formless in a way that we can understand. And even without much effort from our side, a very biomemory awakens to the space of Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness during Bhava Samadhi Darshan. To have a glimpse of, having darshan of an avatar cleanses the karmas of lifetimes and creates a deep and lasting transformation in us. Gratitude enables the reflection of the consciousness on all levels, physical, psychological, and ultimately conscious level. Darshan meditation as a preparation helps us to fall into the space of gratitude, and it is during that time we draw up the conscious resolutions, the Satya Sankalpa of anything we want or need in our life. Be ready to reflect the consciousness of Paramashiva. That is all you need to manifest the best for your life and the lives of people around you. The right context to receive darshan is to understand Paramashiva, I know you are the source of everything. You are everything, and you are in the embodied form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, and you are in this body. You are the source for both. Let me connect with you. Let you reveal yourself to me. Let me be in the Bhava Samadhi of you. So now, let us get ready. We can take a few minutes to set up the Panchopachara Puja. You can set up the sandalwood paste and powder, flowers, incense, lamp, and food offering, the Naivedya to Bhagavan Paramashiva. And we can take a few minutes to set up the Panchopachara kit. And as we get ready to receive the darshan of Sundareshwara Paramashiva, let's prepare to receive the darshan.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Param. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam, we welcome back all the viewers who are excitedly awaiting the live audience with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And just before we all get prepared for the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayuja Samadhi Darshan, we have a very, very, very exciting news. We are all going to be blessed with the live Nithyananda Satsang. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself is going to be addressing each and every one of us. And immediately after which we will be having the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayuja Samadhi Darshan. So get ready for a blast and let's all get prepared for receiving the darshan of Sundareshwara Paramashiva and the direct Nithyananda Satsang with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. And as all of us are getting prepared, we'll be preparing ourselves for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan with the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra before we all enter into the Nithyananda Satsang. So the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra has been blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as a mantra diksha, initiation, which transmits energy and experience, powers and powerful cognition in the form of mantras. Just like how an avatar transmits his shaktis and energies through Nayana Diksha by a look or Sparsha Diksha by a touch, similarly, an avatar births himself in the form of mantras, sacred chants, carries which encompasses all of his energies, shaktis, powerful cognitions and transmits that to the devotees and listeners. And even to whom this mantra is chanted from the space of oneness and deep blissful awareness, that person is bestowed with health and well-being, wealth, abundance and prosperity, and successful business, job and finances, and a complete and a fulfilling relationships and a blissful life manifest without any kind of doshas, sins, evil eyes in their life. And today, with the grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship and Kailasa's Department of Human Services is offering this Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra prayer service on behalf of each and every one of you. Today, we will be offering the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra prayer service wherein our Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu for each and every one to be completely healed out of any health issues that you have, your psychological stress and anxiety to be completely healed, for any kind of impacts that the pandemic has had on you to be completely healed, for you to have a breakthrough in health and wealth, for you to have a breakthrough and completion in your relationship with spouse, job and family, for you to have a complete life without any insecurities, for you to be healed out of any kind of addictions that you're suffering from, for any loans or debts that you're suffering from to be completely healed, for any kind of self-doubt, self-hatred or self-denial to be completely healed, for you to incur a lot of powerful cognitions and the right thought currents in life, for each and every one of you to be having a breakthrough in your karma, the karmic breakthrough, for each and every one of you to be bestowed with blessings and prosperity in life. For each and every one of you to experience completion with your relationships, completion with your job, the professional relationships. For each and every one of you to abundance and wealth in all the aspects of your life. For you to have the right powerful cognitions, knowledge, and right intelligence to make the right choices and decision in life. For each and every one of you to experience complete protection physically, complete protection mentally, and complete protection psychologically. For each and every one who is affected due to the pandemic, natural calamities, or disasters to be taken care of, to be healed. For the Atma Shanti of all the children who have lost their lives, for Atma Shanti of each and every being that has lost its life due to natural calamities like floods, tsunamis, and landslides, etc. For the Atma Shanti of every being that has lost its life due to the man-made calamities like warfare, pandemics, etc. For anybody due to the impacts of the COVID pandemic to be completely healed. For each and every one of you to experience completion in your biomemory, muscle memory. For the grace, leadership consciousness of Bhagavan Sundareshwara to be awakened in you. For each and every one of you to experience the complete protection, blessings, and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism manifesting in your life. For each of you to experience Guru Bhakti, Paramashiva Bhakti, and manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Let us all now enter into the Paramashivoham mantra. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Dhim Nithyanandaya Ham Ham Shivaya Namaha. Om Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. I surrender to that Sadguru who is eternal bliss, the bestower of supreme happiness, the one who is embodiment of wisdom, who is beyond duality, who is omnipresent, to whom the Supreme Goal is giving the enlightenment experience, who is eternal, pure, and unshakable, who is a silent spectator of all thought processes, who is beyond any emotions, who is without the three qualities called Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. When you make a conscious resolution in the presence of Avatar, the power of the Sankalpa itself will deliver the experience and manifest your reality. Om Mamo Partha Samasta Duridakshaya Dwara Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartham. I am taking this conscious resolution today for destroying all my karmas and sins, and in order to please Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, Asya Devadevasya Mahadevasya Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayakasya, who is the God of all gods, who is the greatest of gods, the Lord of universes and multiverses. Sakala Jagat Srishti Sthiti Samhara Tirobhava Anugraha Kya Panchakritya Parayanasya, the one who does the cosmic actions of creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. Adimadhyantaranitasya Prameya Parakramasya Tattvartha Gocharasya, the one who is the beginning, middle, and end, the one who is immeasurable, Akara Ukara Makaratmaka Pranavatmakasya Vrishabharudasya Mahadevasya Kamikadivatulanta Mahatantrakya Shaiva Gamaswarupasya Sakanigama Gamaswarupasya Shuddha Dvaita Shaiva Swarupasya Nithyananda Padastasya Nithyananda Swarupasya Shuddha Sachidananda Vigrahasya Rupa Rupati Tasya Sakala Nishkala Swarupasya Nitya Niranjana Niramaya Nirvikara Khandadi Visheshanasya Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasya Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Avatara Bhutasya Sarvadevi Surupasya Bhagavata Shri Nithyananda Paramashivasya Chaprityartham Shubhe Shobhane Muhurte Adya Brahmanaha Dvitiya Parade Shri Shvetavaraha Kalpe Vaivasvatamanvantare Ashtavimshati Tame Nitya Yuge Prathame Pade Jambu Dvipe Bharatavarse Bharatakkhande Mero Dakshine Parshve Shakabde Asmin Vartamane Vyavaharike Prabhavadinam Shashyaha Samvatsarana Madhye Shubhanama Samvatsare Shubhayane Shubharatau Shubhamase Shubhavakshe Shubhaditau Shubhavasare Yuktayam Shubhanakshatra Shubhayoga Shubhakarana Evam Guna Visheshena Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhaditau. During this auspicious time, during the second half of the lifetime of Lord Brahma, during the Kalpa called Shvetavaraha, during the regime of Vaivashvata Manu, during the first quarter of the Yuga called Nitya Yuga, in the island called Jambu, in the continent of Varsha, the Indian subcontinent called Bharata Khanda, in the southern side of the Mount Meru, in the Shaka era, during this auspicious year, which is one of the set of 6 years, which is in practice of which Prabhupada is the first year, in the auspicious Ayana, in the auspicious season, in the auspicious month, in the auspicious Paksha, on the auspicious Tithi, on the auspicious day, during the auspicious Nakshatra, auspicious Yoga, and auspicious Karna, during such an auspicious moment, Adikailase, Kalpavikshasya Daha, Nithyananda Nagare, Smrita Smritana, Muktidayake, Mahakshetre.
Now, request all the participants, we are offering this for yourself or for someone else. If you are offering for a male, kindly chant the male names now.
Namadhe Yasya, we now request all the participants, whether you are offering for yourself or someone else. If you are offering for a female, please chant the female names now.
Namnyaha cha yajamanaanamavayoho sahakutumbanam bandhuvarganam dayadivarganam mitravarganam sodaravarganam samesham.
For all those who are participants so suddenly with their families, relatives, inheritors, friends, brothers, and everyone.
Sarvabhisha siddhyartham sarvamangalavaptyartham uttarottaranavachinna sthiralakshmi praptyartham. Always let there be all types of good and auspiciousness. Always let there be unbroken flow and steady flow of abundance, prosperity, and wealth. Kutumbe sarvesham yartam chindita manorathavaaptyartham. Let the family always have all kinds of auspiciousness and anything which desired be fulfilled. Samesham adhivyadhinivrityartham. Samesham shiradipada-paryantam vidyamanaanam sameshu angeshu janita-janishyamana sakala vidhana vidarokanam yapohartam tadvara rogadridagadravapo-siddhyartam.
Let all the chronic diseases be healed. Let all kind of diseases and disorders in the body starting from head till toe, which is occurred or occur in the various parts of the body be healed. Let a strong diseases, healthy, handsome and graceful body be obtained. Samesham paraikatribhishta kritakarishямana sakala vidha mantra tantra yantra vishashurna abhichara stambhana marana uchchatana vidveshana vashikaranati mantrika prayoge vyaha praptyartham tadvara rogadridagatrapusiddhyartham. Let the protection be obtained from all evil effects of the acts performed by people either in the past or yet to be performed in the future through the use of mantras, tantras, yantras, poisonous pills, employing pills for malevolent purposes like making a person immobile, killing a person through vomiting, diarrhea, upsetting, ruining the health, poisoning, hypnotizing, etc. Apamrityu-doshni-vrityartham, kalam-mrityu, akalam-mrityu, dur-mrityu-nivrityartham. Let all the impacts or ill effects related to death like death, time death, unnatural death, fatal death be removed.
Samesham anta-drishti, bahi-drishti, krura-drishti, vyapara-drishti, anukula-drishti, pratikula-drishti, ityadi sakala-vida-drishta-doshna-vrityartham. Let all the effects of evil eyes from known and unknown sources, effects of cruelty, filled eyes, evil eyes of business enemies, effects of evil eyes of people who may project as if there are well wishes, and effects of evil eyes of people who are against our well-being be removed. Samesham anta-shatru, bahi-shatru, krura-shatru, vyapara-shatru, anukula shatru, pratikula shatru, ityadi sakalavida shatru, badha-nivrityartham. Let all the effects of inner enemies, outer enemies, fierce enemies, business enemies, enemies who project themselves as good, enemies who work against our well-being be removed. Samesha matrusha padi sakalavida shapanam vyapohanartham. Let the effects of all the causes right from the mother be removed. Anadi avidya-vasanaya pravartamane asmin mahati samsara chakre vichitra bihi karmagati bihi vichitra suyonishu punah punahane kada janitva.
From time immemorial, we get caught, due to ignorance, we get caught in the vast cycle of birth and death. Due to the effects of our action, we take birth again and again in various bodies, which is quite strange.
Kenapi punya karma visheshena bhagavataha Shri Nithyananda Paramashivasya parimitaya kripaya idanim tana manusha janma praptavatam. Yet due to some good action, it immeasurable and extreme and immeasurable compassion and grace of Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, we have been blessed with a human body. Samesham iha janmani purva janmani janma janmantareshu sarvaihi kritanam shiva ninda devi ninda guru ninda dosha vyapohartam shiva paradha devya paradha guru paradha dosha vyapohartam.
Any kind of abuse we may have done to Paramashiva, Parashakti and Guru in the present birth, past birth, or in any of the births be removed. Any kind of crimes or offences committed against Paramashiva, Parashakti and Guru be
Brahma Hatya Surapana Swarnasteya Guru Talpa Gamana Tatsantargakya Panchamahapataka Samasta Papa Virikata. Let the 5 great sins like killing a Brahmin, drinking prohibited alcohol, stealing gold, having illicit relationship with Guru's wife, one's own mother, elder sister, and other such motherly figures, associating with those people who have committed one other mentioned sins be removed. Let all the karmic effects of action, child, adolescent, youth, and old age person, so let all the karmic effects of action done in the wakeful dream or deep sleep state, let all the sins done to the karmendriyas as the 5 organs which perform action like speech, hands, feet, excreting, and reproductive organs, and jnanendriyas as the 5 organs which receive information like ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin. Rahasyakratanam, Prakashakratanam, Matipatakanam, Upatakanam, Sankalikarananam, Malinikarananam, Apatrikarananam, Jati Bhramshakanam, Prakirnitanam, Evam Navana, Navavidhanam, Bahunam, Bahuvidhanam, Sarvesham, Papanam, Sadhya. Let us Parameshwar Siddhi, Parameshwar Shakti Siddhyatam, through the removal of sins, let us be showered with all auspiciousness, and let Paramashiva Bhakti, Devi Bhakti, and Guru Bhakti be obtained. Let us state and space and powers of Paramashiva be obtained. Kutumbe Sarve Sanmangala Praptyartam Anyonya Prema Vividyartam Purnatva Siddhyartam Sarvapanividyartam. Let the whole family always be showered with all auspiciousness. Let mutual love bloom among all the people. Let completion happen. Let all the mishap be removed. Shiprarogya Ayurvividyartam Purnatva Siddhyartam. Let healthy body be obtained instantly and immediately. Let longevity be bestowed. Vyapare udyoge sarvajana vashikaranartam tadvara unato natasthana prapyat. Let your karishma impress and job, and through that let you attain the best of best position. Bahudana saukya prapyatam griha kanaka pashuputra pautra dhana dhanya saukya prapyatam. Let extremely wealthy and happy life happen. Let various wealth be showered in the form of house, gold, cattle, children, grandchildren, money, grain, and all the comforts related to worldly. Lanam grahanam bhusha pida nivaranatam adityadinam navanam grahanam anukulyata siddhyartam. Let all the malefic effects of 9 planets be removed, and let all the auspiciousness be bestowed by the grace of the 9 planets. Bhumyantarikshe vidyamana bhuta preta pishacha rakshasa brahma rakshasa vetala kushmanda dhakini shakini ityadi Sarva Rishya Nivaranartham. Let all the evil effects that cause calamities on planet or the evil effects from various demonic beings like Bhuta, Preta, dead people, Pishacha, demon, Rakshasa, Brahma Rakshasa, Vetala, Kushmanda, class of demons, Dakini, little devil, Shakini, kind of female demon be removed. Manovyakulata Nivaranartham. Let the mental confusion and worry be removed. Radhe karmani, karishyamani karmani, avidayi vikari, bhautika, adhyatmika nivaranartham. Let all the obstacles be removed with regard to actions done are going to be done relating to word, gold, and spirituality. Samasarana Nivaranartham Dhanalakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi, Santana Lakshmi, Saubhagya Lakshmi, Vidya Lakshmi, Shaurya Lakshmi, Veera Lakshmi, Vijay Lakshmi, Ityadi Ashtalakshmi, Paripurna Kripa Kataksha Siddhartham. Let all the loans be removed. Let all the Ashtalakshmis like Dhanalakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi, food and grain, Santana Lakshmi, offspring, Saubhagya Lakshmi, fortune, Vidya Lakshmi, knowledge, Shaurya Lakshmi, bravery, Veera Lakshmi, heroism, Vijay Lakshmi, success be showered, Parikshasu, Unnata Sthane, Vijaya Praptyartham, Sarva Vidya Parangata Siddhyartham, Medha Shakti, Grana Shakti, Abhivridyartham. Let the top rank be obtained in the examinations. Let all the excellence be acquired in all the fields of knowledge. Let the memory power, understanding ability be increased. Ityadi Sakalavida Sanmangalani, Guru Kripa Katakshena Praptyartham. By the grace of the Guru, let all the above mentioned auspiciousness be showered upon. Shri Kailasona Dvadashanta Shyamala Pita Rudha, the one who has ascended the Madurai Adiyam Shyamala Pita, the Pita established by Devi Meenakshi, incarnation of Shyamala Devi, which is the supreme place of Kailasa, where Parameshwara resides and who rules the whole cosmos and Kailasa. Shri Meenakshi Sundareshwara Bhinna Swarupa Parashiva Putra Ratna Kumara, the one who is no different from Meenakshi Sundareshwara, the most beloved son of Paramashiva, the young boy, Guru Manjatulya Avatara, Shri Parvati Sanya Panalabdha Divya Jnana Vishruta Sakana Nigama Gamasara Bhuta Dravida Veda Pravatra, the young boy who is among Gurus and unequaled avatar, the one who received enlightenment by drinking the milk of Devi Parvati, the author of famous Dravida Veda, which is the essence of all Vedas and Agamas, Shri Mukta Medudrashayana Giyamana Chakrachamara Shri Chinnakahala Samasta Virida Valyalankrita Jnana Vijnana Chakravarti, the one adorned by quadrangular palanquin made of pearl, received by the grace of Paramashiva, adorned by the musical instruments, umbrella, chamber, and sacred symbols of worship, etc. adorned by the hymns of praises, the one who has won the whole world by his enlightenment, the signs of enlightenment, and been accepted by all the kings as supreme ruler. सर्वजन संग सद्यो निर्वाण दीक्षा व्याप वर्ग वर्ष विश्रान जी मूत पर्वत कलभ के सरित शबर अभिदेव मुख्य immutable state of enlightenment immediately by nirvana diksha to all people. The one who creates bliss, protecting leader, rolling lion and trumpeting young elephant for other religions. शैव सिद्धांत स्थापनाचार्य श्री राजाधिराज पांड्य महाराज गुरु स्वप्न साक्षादि मांधकार निवारण ज्ञान भानु वीक्षण नरहर ध्वजो चेतन पूर्वक श्रीमद वृषभध्वज स्थापक शैव समय कत्र Acharya who established Shaiva Siddhanta, the Rajaguru of the Pandya king, the supreme king of all kings, the Guru who is also the Pandya king, the supreme king of all kings, enlightening and that removes utter darkness of delusion, the one who installed the Rishabh like the creator and reviver of Shaivism, Sarvajna Pita Ruda, Shri Jagat Guru, Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Swami Bhagi Sundarmani ke Vachaka Swami Nam, Avatara Bhuta, Shri Jnana Sambandha Swami Punarata Shamala Pita, Sarvajna Pita, Renavatyuttara Dishritama Guru Mahasa. Arunagiri Yogeshwara Paramparaga Arunachala Sarvajna Pita Guru Mahasannidhana, the one was under the seat of Arunachala Sarvajna Pita in the lineage of Arunagiri Yogeshwara, Kailas Paramparaga Kanchi, Kailas Sarvajna Pita, Renavatyuttara Guru Mahasannidhana, the one was under the seat of Kanchi, Kailas Sarvajna Pita as the 233rd point of Guru Mahasannidhana in the lineage of Kailas, Nityamangalalita Kalyanita Kailas Paramparaga Adi Kailas Nithyananda Pita Mahasamastana Mahasimhasana Pita Tartri, the creator of the Nithyananda Pita Mahasamastana Mahasimhasana Pita is eternally celebrating auspicious festive and having the attractive energy of enriching Sakshat Shri Parameshwara Samudbhuta Kailas Paramparaga Vaivasata Maniksha Karichandra Bhagirata Shri Ramachandra Nityananda Vachana Sarvabhauma Chakravarti Paramparaga Chatushashti Yogini Mandita Chatushashti Sampradaya Pravartaka Manudharma Shasana Surya Vamsha Prapta Sarvajna Pita Surangi Samrajya Murda Shikta Chudamani Sakshat Shri Parameshwara Samudbhuta Kailas Kapila Mahaguru Punarajata Mahanirvani Pita Stotra Sastra Shri Mahamandaleshwara. The 1000-age Mahamangaleshwara of Mahanirvani Pita established by Bhagavan Parameshwara himself and revived by sage Kapila. Sakshat Shri Parameshwara Simhasana Abhishekta Samasta Gananayaka Shri Mahaganapati Samaram Bhadava Chinna Pitadishwara Guru Parampara Prapta Atala Pita Ashtotra Sahasratama Ashtotra Sahasra Shri Atala Pitadishwara, the 1008 Atala Pitadishwara of Atala Pita, which is an unbroken lineage of one starting from Bhagavan Mahaganapati, who is the leader of Gananas and was coronated by Bhagavan Parameshwara himself. Dharma Mukti Sargapura Sarana Pita Trayo Vimsha Guru Mahasannidhana, the 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharma Mukti Sargapura Sarana Pita. Kailas Paramparaga Adi Pita Sarvajna Pita Jagat Guru Padi Pita Sarvajna Pita in the lineage of Kailasa, Shri Kailasa Punarudharaka, Shri Kailasa Paramacharya, Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Varya Sachidananda Pranava Swarupa Shrotriya Brahmanishta, Srimad Jagat Guru, Shri Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Parameshwara Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swami Nam Prityartam, Tesham Padaravindayoho Bhakti Siddhyartam, Guru Kripa Kataksha Siddhyartam, Shema Stairya Virya Vijaya Arogya Aishwaryanam Viridhyartam, Dharmarthakam Moksha Parapurushartha Siddhyartam, Amasamasta Dritopashantyartam, Samasta Mangalavabhyartam, Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Parameshwara Prasadena, Sakurum Bhasya Jnana Vairagya Jivan Mukti Praptyartam Cha, Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta, Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasya, Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta, Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Avatara Bhuta Sarvadeva Devi Swarupasya Bhagavataha, Shri Nithyananda Paramashivasya Shodasopachara Sarvopachara Archanaradhana Pujam Prarthana Karishye Om Ananda Gandhalayaya Namaha Om Bhavaroga Veshajaya Namaha Om Kalpatarave Namaha Om Pashupataye Namaha Om Pashavimochakaya Namaha Om Nishitapaladayakaya Namaha Om Bhagavati Parivartakaya Namaha Om Adhivyadi Vinashakaya Namaha Om Samasta Kalyana Gunanikaya Namaha Om Vidhi Purishaya Namaha Om Shri Kailasapataye Namaha Om Shivashakaya Swarupaya Namaha Om Nityanandaya Namaha Om Ham Ham Shivaya Namaha Om Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivaya Namaha Om Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Avatara Bhuta Sarvadeva Devi Swarupai Shri Shri Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Shri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamini Namaha. Om Nithyanandam. In just a few more minutes, we are going to be entering into the very, very special live Nithyananda Satsang. I know all of us are very eagerly, excitedly waiting for the special Nithyananda Satsang. I think it's like everybody's favorite, where we get to hear Swamiji, and we get to listen to Swamiji.
And especially in the recent past, the extraordinary truths that Swamiji has been revealing about the 5 fundamental forces of the universe, and about gravity, electromagnetic force, and so much more. I think it's absolutely exciting, and I know each of you that are with us are waiting equally and much more to experience and have the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
And just wanted to let all of you know, during the live Nithyananda Satsang that we are going to be having now, all of you can post your questions. Like the Swamiji will be having live question answers. Swamiji will be taking the questions and he might answer and give blessings to you. So make sure you post your questions, your clicks, your understanding. You can post it in the YouTube comments, Facebook comments, or on Twitter with hashtag AskTheAvatar.
Please also make sure you tag the official Twitter handle at Sri Nithyananda in the platform Twitter, and similarly even on Instagram you can do it as well.
You can just go to the topmost post and you can post it there. Yes, so it's very exciting. In very, very few more minutes we're going to be having the live Nithyananda Satsang. So let us all get ready to receive the live darshan of Swamiji and live Nithyananda Satsang. And also followed by the live Nithyananda Satsang, we are going to be having the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan. That will be.
Sit straight with your head and spine in a straight line. Meditating upon the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om
Paramashivoham.